Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Aliza and today we are going to talk about fraction. So the first thing which we are going to study now was what is fraction. So let me write that for you really quick. So what is fraction? Fraction is basically a part of a whole thing. So we have a candy bar right here. And the candy bar has been divided into three equal parts. Okay, so I have this candy bar for Ellie. I have this candy bar for Zico. Now my question is, what fraction of the candy bar is for Zico and Ellie? So the answer would be, there are three parts in all. Ellie gets one part and Zico gets one part. So that's 2 out of 3. Now, my next question from here can be, hey, what part or what fraction of the candy bar does Eliza get or E get? So, it can be 1 out of 3. 3 which says the total number of parts and 1 which says the part which has been received by E. The next question can be, what part or what fraction of the candy bar has been received by Zico or Z? So the answer could be, there are three parts in all. There has been one part which has been received by Zico. So the answer is 1 out of 3. That is what basically fraction is. Now let's come to the next part. So as we know from here that the answers were 1 over 3. This one, the number which sits on top of the line, that is known as a numerator. Numerator. That is the number which sits on top of the line. The number which sits on the bottom of the line is called denominator. 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 Okay, that is how we spell it. So the number which is sitting at the top is called numerator, and the number which is sitting right at the bottom below the line is called denominator. So that is how we define a fraction. A fraction is a part of the whole thing. So the whole thing were 3 candy bars, and we defined part of the candy bar which was 1 out of 3. So 1/3 is the fraction. Now I come to the next point. Next point is, how many types or kinds of fractions are there? There are basically 3 kinds of fraction. The first one is, let me draw 2 lines so that I can differentiate between them. The first one is called a proper fraction. The first fraction is called a proper fraction. The next one is known as an improper fraction. I-M-P-R-O-P-E-R. Improper fraction. The next fraction which I have for you is called mixed fraction. Some people call it as mixed number, but it has got, you can call it either by mixed fraction or a mixed number. So, what is a proper fraction? A proper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is less than the denominator. So, what was our previous slide saying? Our previous slide was saying that 1/3 of the candy bar have been received either by Zico or Eliza. So this is 1 over 3. 1 was the numerator and 3 was the denominator. We say it as 1/3 or 1 over 3. I'm going to write it for you. Well, that is not connected to the proper fraction, by the way. I'm just writing how you shall call it. You can call it 1/3, or you can call it 1 over 3. There are 2 ways by which you can call this fraction, 1/3 or 1 over 3. Now, what does it actually show us? This fraction shows us that the numerator, I am writing the shortcut of the numerator, I am mentioning that as n, and the denominator, I'm mentioning that as a d. So in proper fraction, the numerator is less than the denominator. In a proper fraction, the numerator is less than the denominator. As we can see in this fraction, which is 1/3 or 1/3, the numerator, which is 1, is less than the denominator, which is 3. Now, I come to the next fraction, which is called the improper fraction. By now, you have understood that it is just the opposite of proper fraction. Improper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is more than the denominator or greater than the denominator. I have a fraction over here, 5/3, where 5 is the numerator and the 3 is the denominator. So numerator is more than the denominator, and it is called an improper fraction. What is a mixed fraction? A mixed fraction, it looks like this. 2, 3/5. You can call it 2, 3/5, or you can call it 2, 3/5. Let me write that for you over here real quick. So it's called 2, 3/5, or it's also called 2, 3/5. Okay, so you have two names for that. Mixed fraction, 2, 3/5. So it is a mixed one. You are mixing a peanut butter and a jelly. So the peanut butter is 2, 3/5 is the jelly. So the total thing is 2, 3/5. Now we are going to learn about one more fraction that is not, okay, I check myself, it is not one more fraction, it is how to convert a mixed fraction to an improper fraction. That is what you saw in the previous one. The improper fraction is a one in which the numerator is greater than the denominator. A mixed one, it is a mixed fraction. It has got two kinds of fractions over here, right? So in the next part, we are going to study about how to convert a mixed fraction to an improper fraction and vice versa. So let's get started with that. So the fraction which I had for mixed one was 2, 3/5. Let me write the header really quick, okay? So it can be easier for you to find out what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to write that as, I'm going to turn this a little bit bigger so that it is easier for you to understand. There we go. Okay, how should I do that? Okay, so this is mixed to improper fraction. I am converting a mixed fraction to an improper fraction. Well, the question on the previous page, it showed 2, 3/5. That is a mixed fraction. How to convert that to an improper fraction? The very first thing that we do is multiply these two numbers. Okay? Whatever is the answer, you add that to the numerator. So it would be 2 times 5 equals 10. And the numerator is 3. So it would be a plus 3. Okay? Over 5. So the improper fraction would be 13 over 5. That is our final answer, changing a mixed fraction to an improper fraction. First we multiply 2 with the 5, which gives us a 10. In your mind you can calculate 10 plus 3 is equal to 13. So you can put that as a 13 over 5. As you can see from the improper fraction, the numerator, which is 13, is less than the denominator. So this is the improper fraction. Now we are going to convert the improper fraction to a mixed fraction. I'm going to take the same example so that it will be easier for you to figure out how we did the whole thing. So let's do it real quick. I'm going to erase this. I'm going to take a text box and I'm going to write improper fraction, or maybe changing improper fraction to mixed fraction. Okay? So, well, now, what was our question? Our question was 13 over 5, right? So that is what we had as the improper fraction, 13 over 5. We have to change this to a mixed one, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a mixed fraction. How are we going to do that? We are going to do the long division. 13 divided by 5. 5 times 2 gives us a 10. We do the subtraction and the remainder is a 3, right? That is the format of the long division. We got our answer. So we have the quotient as a 2, the remainder as a 3, and the divisor as a 5. So the final answer would be, you are going to write this one first, 2, then this one as the numerator, then over 5. There we go. We have our final answer for changing the improper fraction to the mixed fraction, and the final answer is 2 3 over 5, or you can either call it 2 3/5. Well guys, this was the end of my video. I hope you liked the video. If yes, then you can like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. You have a good one. Bye-bye.